going into this year?
No. I mean, I think you know what you know about it, but I still think there's some areas where you can get caught off guard. Like last year at OKC, I was, I had a delay of game situation and I couldn't challenge. So I didn't know that. And I may be the only person that didn't know it, but I didn't know it. The other day, we just took a shot at it. Jared Jack does a really good job of giving me the thumbs up, thumbs down, and I just trust his judgment. You're just trying to do the best you can in those moments.
So you feel like you have a better system now?
I've always felt like the system was okay. The understanding of all of the nuances of it, I'm probably better at it, but am I totally clear on it? I don't think so.
Coach, when it comes to Zion, he's obviously very quick but very strong. He gets a lot of his points down the basket. Tori was telling us today it's about showing him a crowd what goes into kind of cutting down his lanes and he can make a move that quick.
I mean, you can cut down the lane and he's so strong he can make another one. It's just unreal phenomenon. You're dealing with that kind of size and quickness and athleticism. The crowd thing is a big deal. If you give him a crack, he's one of those rare guys that knows how to not charge. He takes the right angle and just goes right through people, but at a great angle. And he's just so quick off the floor. When he does put it up there, he can read his misses really well. A lot like Carmelo used to. He could go right back up and grab it and put it back in the basket. And it's just a big-time challenge for the whole team to show, as Tori said, show a number of bodies, but also be aware of the shooters they have around the floor. I mean, they have way more shooters than people give them credit. Everybody talks about their scrappiness and intensity, but they have some guys that can shoot it from range.
On the rebounding front, I know you talked about how this was a physical playoff matchup last year. What have you liked about the ways you guys have kind of rebounded as a team, and what do you hope carries over into a matchup like this?
Just to focus on it. I think we focused on it every year, but for whatever reason, it's starting to resonate on both ends, how we can pick up extra possessions. Kevin Young has been the guy to basically unleash the whole team to go get extra possessions when we can. And even Chris is getting in there, offensive rebounding. And we try to do it strategically, but you're not going to take away every offensive rebound. But the percentages that we saw, especially in big games against physical teams, is something that we had to address. And I think our guys have started out trending well.
To be Valanciunas remembers fondly and not so fondly the matchups with DeAndre Ayton in the postseason. What did you guys learn about Jayden during that time that carries forward into tonight?
I mean, he's one of the more skilled, big, burly guys. I mean, he's another guy like Zion that just takes up a lot of space. He's got really good feet. Game one, he didn't have the game he probably wanted. He came out in game two. He was like, just aggressive, I've followed him for years just because of the national team that I was blessed to coach on, and that crowd that might be the best crowd I've ever seen in national team basketball. And he was a part of that. So I've been watching him for a while and just watching him progress, into a really good low post scorer, but being able to move away from the basket is where he can hurt you. And that's what we learned. Everybody knows the pump fake's coming, and yet guys still go for it. And against Dallas, he had a pump fake, drive right dunk. Everybody in the league knows that pump fake's coming and, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, he's still doing it. So that's a sign that he's a really good player. But in the playoffs, we just, if there was anything that stuck out was the physicality that he brings to the game. He's a man in the paint, and he puts his hand and his hips and his shoulders and everything on people. And so that's something that you have to account for.
Monty, with technical fouls, the whole league is adjusting to these new guidelines that have come in. Was that something you guys reviewed before the start of the season? What you can do, what you can't do that the Referees Association released?
We didn't. I mean, the league came around and, they did a Zoom chat and they talked about it. And you just have to make your adjustment. Yeah, that's all I'll say about that, or I'll get fined.
Yeah, just to follow up.
Yeah, it's all right.
Never mind.
Coach B, Aiden and Johnny talked about wanting to play together on the floor. Do you like to feel that possibility as far as those two bigs out at the same time? If one maybe landed up on the outside, or that even been considered a big consideration?
I mean, we've talked about it. I'm not going to do it just because, my kids want to drive my car. I'm not going to let them have it. It's like everybody that I think there's ways to do it when the situation presents itself. And it could be tonight just because of the size and physicality, that they bring and the rebounding, their points in the paint. That's something that is pretty eye-opening. And the one way you can counteract that is, rebounding, but the other way to complement it is maybe you put some size out there. So those guys they're together every day. I'm sure there's a lot of things that they want to do. Yeah.
Can you just talk about the last two games in particular, the defensive force that you guys have brought to the floor and probably just consistently from one quarter to the fourth quarter? I mean, that looks like something clearly been emphasized in the last week.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to sit here and tell you we've told our guys. I mean, we talk about disposition, we talk about physicality, but amongst the group, I think it's been an effort to not just show a crowd, but to, we have a term to just get in their way. That's something that we've said for a few years now. And I think that's, something we can build on. It's too early to get too dramatic about it. But to your point, it's just been our guys. Mikal knew in the Clippers game that if he didn't, Paul George could go for 40 like he did the night before. And then when you have the defending champs come in, it's like, you better do the same, and then you have a team like New Orleans. I mean, every night it's like, so what choice do you have? You better do it or you're going to get clipped badly. And so I think overall we've tried to have that disposition, but I think amongst the group, they talk about it amongst themselves. Like, we have to be a good defensive team if we want to, do the things we know we're capable of, and it makes the offense that much easier. I think that's one thing we've seen the last couple of games. Offense, it's never easy, but it's been more efficient because we've gotten stops. One game we started 6 stops in a row. That's something that kind of gives us a bit of juice to go play offense well.
Is that just one of the added benefits of that core group having gone?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I do. I think it's driven all of us, but in particular the players. They're the ones out there feeling it and experiencing the physicality, that the type of basketball that we want to play in the time of the year we want to play it. You can't just turn it on in April and May and June. Like, it has to be an every night thing as best you can, and that's really hard to do in this league, but we know we have to create the kind of reputation and fear that we feel like we need to gain the respect that we need to gain. We haven't done it yet. And so I think our guys are intentional about that part of the game. Defensively, we have to be a physical team, guard the ball, help your teammate and physical boxing out so that we can get the rebound. Like that's just something that I think our guys are pretty intentional about.
Yep, thanks.
All right, thank you.
Recording stop.